ahead of a cold front that arrives to San Antonio tomorrow, bringing cooler temperatures and a chance for storms. The latest forecast coming up.
Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
Tonight, a campsite in Hunt where 27 young girls and counselors died in the July floods has announced that it does plan to reopen next summer. Camp Mystic is the place that we're talking about, and it sent families a letter. It promised to follow new state safety laws aimed at preventing future flood-related deaths. The camp also announced plans to build a memorial honoring the girls, celebrating their joy and happiness. The parents of 27 victims are still pushing state lawmakers to pass bills to improve camp safety and also prevent future tragedies. In other news tonight, we know now who passed away in a house fire last night on Chartwell Drive near I-10 and Wurzbach Road. He's 54-year-old Michael Gallegos. Investigators think that he also set fire to that home, and that home has been at the center of multiple 911 calls. Investigators say that hours before that fire, they had received a call about a gun disturbance at the home. And they say that because Gallegos didn't threaten anybody, officers left. And 3 hours later, he died in that fire. Now that fire is being investigated as an arson. Over in far west Bexar County, a community is trying to process grief and also shock after 2 children were found dead over the weekend. And as their mother faces charges, that community is honoring the children. The night team's Avery Everett spoke with a group of moms who knew both children very well.
You gained your wings when our hearts weren't ready, but they'll be remembered.
Building this memorial is a way to say goodbye.
We might not be a family or by blood, but this was our family. This was our village.
2 baby angels we now know by name, Savani and Miani.
These women closely knew 6-year-old Savani Stevenson and 3-year-old Miani Islar. They were the children found dead in West Bexar County over the weekend.
It was just hard to see that, really hard to see that.
Their mom, Tiana Islar, faces 2 child injury charges, and she's currently in the Bexar County jail. She claims her kids were left in a hot car, but Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar says her story had some inconsistencies. The medical examiner finished autopsies for both children, but won't release the cause of death until toxicology results come in. According to a BCSO spokesperson, deputies had visited their home before, and they are now working with Child Protective Services to find out what happened.
Look twice over your shoulders. Think of your children. And don't let this bad ending be their bad ending.
These women met Tiana at Haven for Hope about a year ago.
We looked after each other's kids.
They're not going to be forgotten.
A tribute here is still growing, steps away from where it all happened. This community hoping they can bring peace in the place of tragedy. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
Those little sweet faces. In San Antonio tonight, police are looking for a man who tried to steal a car on the northwest side early yesterday morning. And the mother at the center of all of this says that it could have been a lot worse because when that man opened the door to her car, her 5-year-old daughter was still inside. The night team's John Paul Barajas takes the story from here.
And I was screaming at him, "My kid is in the car, my kid is in the car." I said it probably 10 times. I stared him straight in his face while he was in my car trying to take it with my child.
What should have been a normal daycare drop-off turned into a nightmare for Lisa Hummer. Her 5-year-old daughter Nova was waiting in the car alone when a random man got in and tried to steal it. But mom wasn't going to let that happen without a fight.
You're trying to tell him to stop. At any point, are you worried that you're going to get run over, or is that not even a thought that crosses your mind?
I was preparing for it, but I didn't care. Like, I was going to do whatever it took to stop him from taking her.
You weren't going to let the car go without
not without
it having to go through you?
Yeah, definitely.
Just before the suspect tried to steal her car, Lisa was taking her twin 1-year-olds to the front door of their daycare off Timber Hill and Grissom Road.
It's hard with twins who can't walk yet to take them both out at the same time.
It's usually a quick process, so she lets Nova stay in the car. However, Monday morning, she forgot to lock her doors and this man jumped in without hesitation.
Immediate panic. Just ran over there, no hesitation. I just wanted to stand in front of it.
Even after the suspect's attempts to reverse and get around her, Lisa's desperate calls for her child finally paid off.
He was looking at me and then he looked back and he kind of shrugged and opened the door, and I went and I grabbed him and pushed him away, and he said something and just ran off.
San Antonio police are actively trying to find this man, and Lisa says her mistake of being in a rush is a wake-up call.
Thankfully, this was just a massive scare.
Yes.
Although that's the case, is there anything you say to the person who was in your driver's seat?
Thank you for getting out. I hope they catch you and I hope you won't do this again.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
You can just feel her relief in that story. All right, in other news tonight, police in Uvalde don't think that anybody else was involved in the death of a woman who used to work for Congressman Tony Gonzalez's office. You see her there. Her name is Regina Santos Aviles, and she died after she caught fire alone while she was in her backyard. Uvalde police turned home surveillance video over to the Texas DPS crime lab. And until the crime lab and the Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office finalize their reports, Uvalde police tell us that they won't give us any more updates on that case. And we're told that could take weeks. Santos Aviles' family told KSAT Investigates that she died on September 14th after she was airlifted to San Antonio to be treated for extensive burns. And her family is adamant that the fire was an accident. The Bexar County District Attorney's Office has filed a motion to revoke Eric Cantu's probation. That's the 20-year-old man who survived after a San Antonio police officer shot him back in 2022. But he's been in trouble with the law several times since then. Back on Friday, Cantu was arrested yet again for allegedly stomping a woman's head in a 2024 assault. An arrest warrant affidavit states that Cantu threw a woman to the ground, stomped on her head, and punched and kicked her at a gas station on the south side. He was charged with assault causing bodily injury, but as I told you before, it's not his first brush with the law. Cantu has faced numerous charges over the past few years, including evading arrest. That charge got him 7 years probation, and part of that included him being banned from driving. And now the DA's office wants to keep him in jail because of repeated violations. This really sounds like a wish come true. Home renovations and a new roof, all paid for by taxpayers. But for one Northeast Side family, that dream turned into a years-long nightmare. KSAT Investigates Dylan Collier dug into this heated dispute, and just a warning that the following story contains language that you may consider vulgar.
You see this?
By late 2022, Norma Ramirez's home on Baines Landing Street had seen better days.
The house was in very dire need of repairs, starting with the outside, inside.
But San Antonio Neighborhood and Housing Services offered Ramirez a chance to resurrect the property. In early 2023, Ramirez entered NHSD's minor home repair program, and she says that the suggestion of city staff also applied to the agency's Under One Roof program. The city would cover the cost of improvements as long as Ramirez agreed to remain in the home for 10 years and would pay to replace her roof if she stayed there for 5 years. One other condition, the city would choose the contractor, ProMasters Remodeling. The total projected cost of the two projects, over $63,000.
We were just elated. It was like a Christmas gift.
Ramirez now feels like a lump of coal would have been a better present.
Hey, are you okay?
The subcontractor stepping through the ceiling while working in the attic was a sign of things to come.
They didn't seal this.
Ramirez's renovated master bathroom now has water pooling in the wall every time the shower is turned on. Her enclosed porch, seen here before the project began, had to have its ceiling and walls removed this summer.
Oh my God.
After significant amounts of rain came into the room through recently installed outdoor siding and the newly constructed roof.
You could fill up a bucket in half an hour right here.
These pictures show just how extensive the mold problem had become. Workers missed the stud altogether with these siding nails, a defect Ramirez discovered only after gutting the walls. This letter sent from NHSD Director Veronica Garcia to Ramirez in November 2023 acknowledges the home's flue pipe was disconnected, risking the health and safety of anyone occupying the home. The letter claimed the damage was done by force in excess of what could occur naturally and was not the result of work done by ProMasters or one of its subcontractors. The renovations became a powder keg of frustration.
Trying to leave. Get out of their way.
An NHSD employee sent to the property for family support instead repeatedly admonished Ramirez's son for recording video of workers.
But if you're going to use this for any type of legal or public view, it is illegal.
Then there's this. The family claims their backyard storage shed was repeatedly used as a bathroom.
Hey! Don't be taking a piss in my shed, too!
Did subcontractors hired by ProMasters poop and pee in your shed?
Yes, they did, more than once.
Come on, I have a bathroom. Be decent. Be decent, I have a bathroom.
The family told KSAT they were forced to get rid of the soiled shed.
We invited the police just to escort so that we can ensure safety for everyone.
By that December, San Antonio police would meet city staff when they would come to look at the home.
You canceled on us last time saying that we couldn't.
If you're going to be disruptive, we're going to leave.
After the break, the city of San Antonio weighs in on this home improvement project gone wrong, saying they quit showing up to the residents after the homeowner became belligerent. That's next on the Nightbeat.
She qualified for home renovations and a new roof paid for by you, the taxpayer. But now she says that her property is in worse shape than ever before. The Night Team's Dylan Collier attempted to take the woman's concerns to city leadership. Watch what happened.
So it had already started crumbling.
In November 2023, Norma Ramirez was ready for a second and even third opinion. Her residents on Baines Landing had qualified for the city's minor home repair and under one roof programs. But months after the project was completed, she and her family kept uncovering more and more issues. An independent inspector hired by Ramirez to probe the work done by the city-hired ProMasters Remodeling and its subcontractors found 156 deficiencies and 14 safety hazards. Problems like damaged sheetrock from a worker stepping through the ceiling and a roof that was installed without a starter strip.
Wind gets up under here strong enough, right? It'll blow off shingles like a zipper effect.
A second independent inspector that month delivered an even harsher review of the city-managed project, telling Ramirez in his concluding comments, quote, "This project has been very poorly handled. The city of San Antonio, its employees, and subcontractors have done nothing for the public's protection and are directly responsible for squandering taxpayers' money. We recommend you contact the Attorney General and the Department of Justice to consider action against the city and their employees that worked outside of the laws requiring the building codes to be followed." Do you regret applying for those two programs?
Absolutely 1000%. Just a real shocking stuff.
Before we move on, it's worth noting that two people in this story are no strangers to KSAT Investigates.
Ann Eaton, the city's public housing administrator during the Baines Landing project, resigned last year while under investigation for receiving a more than 40% discount on foundation work at her personal residence from, of all people, Francisco Ruiz and his company ProMasters Remodeling, the same contractor picked by the city to work on Ramirez's home. Eaton's former agency, NHSD, paid ProMasters nearly $14.5 million for construction jobs from May 2019 to this summer.
We're just going to look at the roof today.
Eaton's discount and resignation were unrelated to Ramirez's complaints. Regarding what occurred at her house, a spokesman for NHSD told KSAT city staff and the contractor conducted multiple visits to address the homeowner's complaints, but that after she became belligerent and refused to consider recommended solutions, the project was closed.
Every time they came and checked, it was a very brief assessment.
For months, city officials have refused to make NHSD Director Veronica Garcia available for an interview. So we attempted to catch up with her after she presented at a recent budget work session.
Director Veronica Garcia. Director Garcia, real quick, can we get two questions with you?
Garcia, with the meeting now over, was quickly whisked from the room and placed in a back office.
Director Garcia, brief moment of your time.
Leaving questions about the project unanswered and the Ramirez family living in a house that no longer feels like home.
We slept in the car for a week.
Dylan Collier, KSAT Investigates.
Ruiz told KSAT via email that he could not comment directly on the project at Baines Landing before writing that Ramirez's son had interfered and sabotaged the entire project. Nobody associated with the city, NHSD, nor the contractors hired to handle Ramirez's home renovations have been found liable of violating any laws or building codes in connection to that project. Now, Eaton declined to comment through a spokesman for the city of Austin, which is where she now works. She was not disciplined for the foundation work because NHSD at that time didn't have any rules banning employees from using city contractors for personal use. So now we're going to switch gears and take things outside because tomorrow is the day that I would say, as you're bringing your kids to the bus stop, make sure that they have an umbrella and some gear because, we're talking about rain chances tomorrow.
Especially the rain boots. Don't forget the rain boots. Those are kind of another common thing other than the umbrellas, especially because tomorrow there is that chance of rain. We've been talking about it for what feels like a week or two. Now it starts off with just this marginal risk of some heavy rainfall having the potential to produce some localized flooding, not only in San Antonio, but also going to Houston, to Beaumont, even going across the Gulf Coast. Now here's what we're watching. There's a cold front approaching San Antonio tonight, but it really won't impact us until tomorrow. Now, these thunderstorms associated with this cold front is going to be a little on the stronger side for some. And where we see that chance of some heavier thunderstorms, that's going to have the chance to produce up to 2 inches of rain or more, and then lead to isolated street flooding depending on how much rain we get at one time associated with these downpours. And this cold front we've been talking about, it's just about to enter the Dallas-Fort Worth metro and near Abilene. That cool front isn't really going to give us too much of some cooler temperatures, but it's going to bring the chance of some storms. So overnight into tomorrow, just jumping straight to your futurecast, it is expected to push down. By 7 a.m., it shouldn't really impact any of our neck of the woods. But after 7 a.m., as we go throughout mid-morning and even by lunchtime, that cold front should be just about to San Antonio, but still just to the north in areas of the hill country. And that's when we start to see the line of some thunderstorms start to spread apart and break up just a little bit. But even then, it's going to start to impact the hill country by lunchtime, and that's when we're starting to see that chance for some gustier winds up to 60 miles an hour for some folks, and even, depending on how much instability we can get, that chance for some very small quarter-sized hail. But the main threat is also going to be the heavy downpours. Now, it is expected to continue for some folks in the hill country, but San Antonio, our chance is really going to be between 2 p.m. through the evening commute as that cool front continues to give it one last push, and even until about 8 p.m. That's when we finally start to see a little bit more of some stable air push through. But even then, near the coastal plains, you can still see a chance of some more storms late Wednesday night, even for folks of the hill country, depending on how much more instability and how much extra moisture there is leaving into areas of San Antonio. But finally, by Thursday morning, all the storms and some showers should finally be to the coast, and by lunchtime Thursday, they're finally getting off into the Gulf and leaving San Antonio, leaving us with some much needed rain. Here's a look at the rainfall potential. Now, not everyone is expected to see some rain, but where we do get some nice rainfall totals, you can see anywhere between 1/4 of an inch to even 2 inches of rain for some folks, but it's going to be very isolated. So you're going to want to tune in to KSAT Weather. We'll have the latest updates through the weather app, online, on social media. But the good news is the rain finally leaves Thursday afternoon and leaving us with temperatures in the 60s, that low humidity, and even temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. We'll be right back after the break.
They're all good. This is like playing in the NFC East, man. It's every week. It's going to be a battle.
Coach Bush and his Vaqueros are ready to start Southland Conference play in big board sports. Green Bay Packers defensive end Micah Parsons is heading back to Arlington to face his former team, the Dallas Cowboys. The boys drafted Micah in 2021 with the 12th overall pick, and Micah said he wanted to be a Cowboy for life. But during his contract holdout at Cowboys training camp, things went sour between Micah and team owner Jerry Jones. So Micah asked to be traded, and the Cowboys obliged. Parsons spoke to the AP and said facing his good buddy Dak Prescott will be tough.
It's gonna be painful. You know what I mean? Dak's my guy. You know, he was always like a good mentor for me. But you know what it is. I always told him if I ever faced him that, you know, it'll be a great matchup. So I'm excited to see what Sunday brings itself.
Jerry Jones spoke with 103.5 The Fan and said he's extra pumped up for this game.
I think that, of course, I have said this time and time again. I think the world of Micah, and as an individual, and of course, know him well. And I might say I wish him well, except it's obvious I don't this weekend in terms of Green Bay winning the ball game. And so it makes for an exciting time, and he's going to make some plays no matter how you play. But when I saw people play us well with Micah in the game, and it did happen, then obviously we'll be looking to try to run those kinds of plays.
And the Houston Texans released starting safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson after just 3 games. In 3 starts, he had 15 tackles with no interceptions or pass breakups. Gardner-Johnson has struggled to learn the Texans' defensive scheme, which has contributed to several big plays against the Texans secondary. And it's being reported that C.J. was causing friction behind the scenes. The Antonian volleyball program has been knocking on the door of adding a 6th state championship to their title banner. The Apaches are coming off back-to-back TAP 6A state runner-up finishes. Unfortunately for Antonian, 3-time defending state champion Prestonwood Christian has been the spoiler of their title aspirations, but Antonian wants to change that. 9-1 in their last 10 matches. The Apaches are planning for this year to be when they win it all once again.
Oh, they can. I have all the belief in the world. It's whether or not they believe it. And I guess as coaches, that's our main thing, is to make these kids believe that they can do something that nobody else can think that they can do.
We know what we're needing to accomplish, which is our own goal at state. And we need to work hard every day at practice so that we can fulfill that.
Throughout the seasons, you're going to have your wins and losses, but where it really matters is at state. So I think, you take those wins, you take those losses, you take those practices, and you just keep building and learning so that when you get to state, you're prepared.
When we spent time with the Apaches at practice this week, the players raved about their team culture, telling us it's the main ingredient to their success.
I feel like our group of girls this year, we're just one big friend group. We have so many different personalities, from big into quiet personalities, and I feel like we just like before games, we like to dance around and we like to get each other hyped. So I feel like we have so many different girls to get each other hyped and to bring other girls up.
This weekend, the 26-12 Apaches are in Dallas for a tournament where they will get a chance to face off against Prestonwood Christian. All right, UTRGV football is on a roll after.
All the Southland schools have great communities, great fan bases, and all the stadiums are fun to be around, so we're excited to get on the road.
Undefeated UTRGV football will take their show on the road Saturday night when they open Southland Conference play at 6 at Southeastern Louisiana. Saturday, they beat Texas Wesleyan 61-13, improving to 4-0 in their inaugural season. And this week, they received 5 votes in the AFCA FCS Coaches Poll, marking the program's first ever appearance in a national poll. Now it's time to get down and dirty with the start of Southland Conference action.
Again, non-conference is over, and we won Division I football in the Valley. Here we go, and we're about to jump in the deep end right now, headed to Southeast, one of the top teams in the conference, and we'll get a full load of what the Southland football conference is all about. We're excited. Again, challenging conference. We know the road ahead of us. We talked to the team today. There's only one road. It's hard, and it's going to be an uphill battle, but we're excited to get on the road and find out.
One road, and it's hard. So good luck to UTRGV.
All right, good luck to them. Thank you, and we'll be right back. My friends, thank you so much for staying up with us tonight. Don't forget that tomorrow we're going to have some rain, so prepare for that. Download the KSAT Weather Authority app. It'll be a really good tool to keep handy throughout the day. Have a great night. GMSA starts tomorrow at 5. Good night.